Hi everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. I send you love and blessings, love and blessings, love and blessings. I kind of have a theme going on this week where I'm talking about helping people. I just noticed that there has been quite a bit of suffering in the comments that I've been reading. Not on my own channel, but there are many other talented readers out there on YouTube. And so what I'll do is I'll read the comments to see how everyone's doing. And I feel like, there's a lot of people who aren't doing well right now on the twin flame, and it, breaks my heart. So I decided to do a lot of readings based on how to heal and overcome all this suffering. And so I'm calling this, how, I'm calling it Twin Flames, how to get out of this matrix to end the suffering. Or maybe just, how do we get the heck out of this matrix? And I'm doing that because it's really in the 3D and it's really in this lower vibration that's causing us to suffer. It's being in the ego, it's being in the lower mind that's keeping us in this suffering state. And it's when we, rise up and we realize that this is just an illusion, that it's not really real, that it's just a matrix, and that it's all like a reflection of what's going on inside of us, as within, so without, and that we have the control. It's really just a computer game, and we are the ones who are creating the game, and that everything's neutrality, everything's neutral until we put a meaning on it. And so I decided to ask, I pulled a lot of decks to ask, for the collective, just one pile, how to get out of this matrix? How do we get out of this matrix? And, how do we stop suffering? And so get your, pens and papers out and take notes because I asked the divine to show me because it's something I want to know and I like to show my poster board because that's my thing here. I'm all about deprogramming myself to get out of this matrix. So let's begin and let's take a look and see what cards we got. And then, yeah, go ahead and take notes because this is good stuff. By the way, I like to tell, here's my mom watching over me. It says mother's love. All right, let's see what we got. The first card we got, and actually this is reversed, and it's the Page of Cups reversed. So what this is telling me is that what the divine is explaining is, give yourself a message of love. Give yourself a message of love. So in order to get out of the matrix, it's not expecting a message of love of someone else. So for instance, if you really think about it, if you think to yourself, I love myself, therefore I'm loved. Or, I respect myself, therefore I'm respected. Or, also I'm respectful. Because how you treat yourself is how you treat everyone because we are all one. We are the collective. It's a very fifth dimensional point of view or perspective. And so, you give yourself messages of love. So every morning it's part of my ritual is to tell myself how much I love myself. I do it in the third person and it does help my heart to grow. And it's like filling my own cup. And then, and that's what we're all expected to do in the fifth dimension. And that's how to get out of the matrix. Give ourselves messages of love. Don't expect a message of love from other people. And even when you do get a message of love from another person, yeah, it may feel good in the moment, but it's fleeting and they can take it away. They can take away their message of love. They can say, you know what, I love you today, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow. And so we don't want to depend on that. We want to give ourselves messages of love. So that's one way to get out of the matrix. We also got my vibes speak louder than my words. Oh, yeah, big time. People's words really don't mean, I've always been more about actions speak louder than words for me, but this is even better. My vibes speak louder than words. So your vibration, that's where it's at. So whatever you're vibrating at, that's where you're attracting. And, in your words and other people's words can say things and it can make you feel better for a second, but really what is raising your vibration, what's lowering your vibration, and know that everything in this world has a vibration set point. Everything. Every TV show you watch, every song you listen to, every game you play. Yeah, everything has a vibrational set point, and notice how it affects you, and notice how everything affects you. And then, so I'll just kind of bring out my trusty Hawkins scale. And so you just kind of want to make sure you're vibrating love, and love is all about self-love, unconditional love for yourself, unconditional love for others, and then that's what you'll attract everything at that vibration. That is another way to get out of the matrix. Okay, the next card you got is no nothingness. So this is being in the gap. So yeah, so this is where the potential is. This is where that nothing really exists. Everything's an illusion. Everything in this world is because it's a video game, because it's an illusion, like nothing has meaning until you put meaning on it. And everyone's going to put different meanings on something. So something will come out in the news, or something will come out, and for some people it's going to have a lot of meaning, and for some people it's just not going to have any. Some people are going to be real neutral about it. Some people are going to be like real angry about it, and some people are going to be real happy about it. It's like whatever meaning you put on it, because it really doesn't mean anything. And so it's your choice. It's your choice on what kind of meaning you want to put on it. And so this is where all the potential is. This is where you can create. This is where all the creativity is. And this is where, so it's in the gap. It's away from your ego. It's like stepping away from your ego into this into this abyss here, and knowing that what, this is my canvas. It's blank. I got a blank canvas here. I can create my world into whatever I want. That's how to get out of the matrix. All right, the next card you got is surrender obsessive thinking. Yeah, so of course that's again is moving away from your ego. It says if you're obsessing about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring your clarity or even solve the problem. Yep, so I'm all about solving and solutions, and so I try. So I figured out like what I had to do to stop obsessively thinking about my twin flame. And so what I learned was I was nourishing that person's energy, and I was imbalanced. I had an imbalance between my inner divine feminine and my inner divine masculine. If you'd like to learn more about that, it's something I life coach on, and you can email me. But anyway, when you nourish and really think and obsess over your twin flame, what that does is it fills a void for them, and it's like they can feel that, and they feel very nourished. When you're obsessively thinking about them, they feel nourished, they feel fine, they're not out of balance. Until, I mean, at some point it could make them like very lost. I'd have to explain that to you further with the inner divine feminine, divine masculine energy. It just depends what stage you're at in your twin flame journey. But anyway, so what I've learned is to put the attention and nourish myself. And so whenever I found myself thinking about my twin flame, I would start saying, no, I love myself. I love Mary Beth. I'm committed to Mary Beth. I want to spend time with Mary Beth. And the more I did that, the more I loved me, the more I knew that I was putting all the energy into me. And honestly, because we're all one, and especially with your twin flame, it's you and another body. They have no choice but to also put their attention on you as well. Like they have no choice but to feel that, and then energetically get shifted onto you. And it helps you to stop obsessing. I know it's very fifth dimensional, but that is how to get out of the matrix. And it's also very divine. It's also taking a deficit out of your own divine masculine side of you. The divine masculine trait of you is to focus on you. It is more of a feminine trait, and it has nothing to do with male or female, by the way, but it is more of a divine feminine trait to focus on others and to nurture others, whereas it's a divine masculine trait to focus on yourself and nurture yourself. And so because there's a deficit in your divine masculine side of yourself by not focusing on yourself, then that gets out of whack, and that's why you feel imbalanced, and that's why you start obsessing. I know it's weird, but that's just the way the twin flame journey works. So focusing on yourself, and then this, of course, suggests giving the dilemma to spirit. Giving it to the divine, let them take care of it, drop the burden, then be at peace and live your life. And that is how to get out of the matrix. Okay, and the next one you got is watch the mind like a TV. It says there are few better shows than the ones we broadcast in our minds. That's for sure. With our eyes open, take a few minutes to watch what happens in your mind. Oh, it's scary, isn't it? As if it were a high definition plasma TV screen. Observing your experience in this way can really help create a sense of space and freedom from the everyday dramas of our lives, as we assume the role of the viewer instead of the character in the middle of the story. Yeah, so when you start thinking about all the scenarios and all the bad things that could happen, as we always do, we're always playing stuff out in our mind, like this could happen, this could happen. It's always like we always like think about the worst scenario that could possibly happen. And they're saying instead of doing that, instead of putting yourself in this dramatic, futuristic, scary, fear-based story in the future, instead just be an observer and then just watch like how everything unfolds. And and notice how your mind plays tricks on you, and notice how your mind takes you to like the worst possible scenario. If you were to be like really pay attention to where your ego takes you. And that is how to get out of the matrix. Okay, the next card you get is make space for silence. Now I had this one for one of, I also pulled this card for one of my uplifting videos for this week, so I won't go too much into it, but basically, it's same thing as this. It's making space for silence. That's where the potential is. That's where you're listening to your divine, you're listening to your soul. You're not allowing your ego to take over. You're making time for silence. You're getting rid of, it's the same thing as this, getting rid of the mind chatter. Except here they're telling you to notice what the mind chatter is and make yourself laugh, and just putting all distractions aside, and using that time instead for creativity. Just sitting quietly without distractions, and you'll come up with like things will hit your brain, and then you realize that's the divine talking to you. And that is how to get out of the matrix. All right, another way to get out of the matrix. If we seek paradise outside of ourselves, it can always be taken away. That's exactly what we said with this, right? Someone gives you this message of love. I love you, I love you, I love you. Well, actually, today I don't. Maybe tomorrow. Now, you do not want to be at the whim of someone else, of someone else's love message. You love yourself. I love myself, therefore I am loved. Period. I am loved. I embody love. No one has to give me love. No one has to show me. No one has to tell me love. I embody love. And that is how to get out of the matrix. All right, the next one we got is Rose Quartz, Love Life. Now, I know this means love life, but what they're saying to me is, renew your life by loving your own life. Like, love it the way it is now. Love your life. Love it. Love yourself. Love everything you've done so far. Like, be proud of yourself and how far you've come. Be your own romantic partner, okay? Be your own like savior. Be your own everything. Be your own everything. And, that way it cannot be taken away from you. And that is how to get out of the matrix. Okay, you also got, and it was reversed, rock bottom. Okay. And so this is kind of saying the same thing where, well, actually what this is saying is that it's like, how the saying goes, it's insanity when you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. So this is what this is saying. They're like, listen, you hit rock bottom. I'm not saying you hit rock bottom, but let's just say you're in the third dimension, which always kind of feels like rock bottom in a way. And you keep doing the same thing, the same patterns, yet you're expecting a different result. They're saying, no, it's enough is enough. It's time to open up your mind, open up your, creative mind, and, like look up, ask the divine for help and say, okay, this is not working. Obviously, this is not working. I am like here. I mean, obviously you can always go lower, obviously. But in this case, they're saying, notice like what, like your previous ways of doing things, like look and see where it got you. And if it's working, great. If you're happy, great. But if you're not, just know you have to make changes. You have to switch something. Something has to change. in order to make this flip over to get out of the. Actually, let me just see something because I'm just curious. Hold on one second. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it basically it's just saying you're only a victim of your perceptions. Yeah. And they're just saying that, yeah, surrender to a higher power. Yeah. I just want to make sure I wasn't missing something from this card because that's basically what I got out of it. Yeah, it's just basically saying, surrender to a higher power, try something new, try a new perspective. You probably didn't hit rock bottom. You probably just think you did. You're probably way, way, way far from hitting rock bottom. You're probably pretty high up there, actually. You're probably pretty prosperous. And you just think in this one little tiny area in your life, it's just not working the way you thought it would. And so now you're probably thinking, oh, it's not working. I'm a failure in this. And actually you're not. And actually you've grown. And it's in these times where you learn the most and you gain the most wisdom. And then when you gain this kind of wisdom, you could say, I've done it, been there, took that trail, faltered, fell, I got back up. How's that song go? I get knocked down, but I get up again because no one can keep me down. I get knocked down, right? But I get up again. And because this is where you get most of your learning when you do get knocked down. That's how we learn. Anyway, try something new. Stop doing the same thing over and over to get a different result. And that is how to get out of the matrix. Let's see what else we got. The next card is we got teacher. Yep. So basically what I just said. So when you do get knocked down and usually when we're down here and we're feeling kind of rock bottom, we kind of, asked to be divinely guided. We get shown a lot of things. We learn a lot. We figure out new stuff. We rise in our vibration. We grow, we transform, we transcend, right? Well, then in order to get out of the matrix, I mean, so it's two things, right? This could be shown as two ways for the collective: going to a spiritual teacher, learning new things. Whether it might be just clicking on the Gaia channel or reading spiritual material or whatever it is, and helping you to grow, or doing that and then becoming the teacher, and then teach what you have learned. Don't hoard it. Once you get all that awesome information, after you have been through all the trials and tribulations, and you have gotten the creme de la creme, wisdom, now share it. Be the teacher, because I'm sure you're one of the pioneers in this. And that is how to get out of this matrix. All right, the next card you got is accept heaven's help. You've prayed for help, so get out of the way and let heaven help you. Yeah, so, put your arms up and ask them. And, this is also, again, it talks about divine guidance. You're asked for divine guidance. You said, my way's not working. Please show me what it is I need to do. And then wait for it. Don't forge ahead, ask, and then this is what I do. I swear this is what I do. I'll say, okay, it's not working. I'm not doing something correctly. This is like, it's not getting the results I want. Please show me what I need to know. And then I'll go on YouTube and I'll just click it and random things pop up. And then I'll scroll down because it doesn't, like, not everything hits me, right? I keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And then something hits me. I'm like, oh, the divine wants me to know this, because something will like really pop out of me. I'm like, oh, what's this? And then it's something like where I'm like, what? And it's something new. And so I'm always waiting. I'm always looking for signs, and I'm always asking, and they're always showing me signs. And so sometimes I'll say, show me on YouTube, or show me on the Gaia channel, or, show me through like an animal, or, because you could look up animal totems. Anyway, that's how to get out of the matrix as well. The next card you got is, if you get into union with your twin flame without becoming the highest expression of yourself, old programming will contradict a blissful relationship. Yep. So I always talk about the old programming. So the twin flame, the twin flame union is not about the old paradigm of about being codependent. And when you do try to fit a old paradigm of being codependent on your twin flame union, it just doesn't work. It doesn't fit. It's trying to stuff a square peg into a round hole. And I'm sure many of you who have been in union have already witnessed this or experienced this. And so this is saying, please release the old programming. Get rid of the old programming. Send love messages to yourself. Love yourself. Make it all about you. Raise your own vibrations. Don't obsessively think about the other person. you know just do not allow yourself to try to become one with your twin flame in the 3D as if it was a normal everyday relationship, because it's not. It's a fifth dimensional relationship, and that's why we're in this twin flame journey, to help us out of the third dimension into the fifth dimension. That's my dog, by the way, if you heard him. Okay, another way out of the matrix, and I actually have this written down on my trusty poster board that I look at in the mornings to help me focus. This is what I do. I write down 5 wins, 5 things I'm grateful for, 5 things I let go of, 5 things I'm deprogramming to get back to the 500 love vibration set point, 5 ways to nurture myself. And it's like I'm like, oh, what are 5 ways I can nurture myself today? And then 5 ways I'm working towards my goal or mission. So I write down these things, and it really helps me stay focused, and it keeps me from obsessively thinking about things that don't serve me. Because and I say this over and over, if whatever it is you're obsessing about doesn't help you grow or transform, then it's just a distraction. And you're here to grow, you're here to expand, you're here to transform. You're not here to be distracted. And so this will help you to focus. So again, write down 5 wins, 5, or or it doesn't have to be all of these, but write 5 things that you're grateful for, 5 things you can let go of, 5 things that you're deprogramming in yourself, 5 ways to nurture yourself, 5 ways to work towards a goal of yours or your mission. All right. The next card you got is birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. Yep, this is another way out of the matrix. So the way I see this card for me, this is an activation card, by the way. So what I do is I have a list of things that I try to visualize to make a utopian society. So I call it my utopian society, and I have a list of what that means to me, what a utopian society looks like, and I write it down, and then I try to visualize it, and then I dream this new world into being. And that's what they're asking you to do. They're asking you to meditate. They're asking you to birth a new age. So we are going into the Aquarius age right now. We're leaving the Piscean age. The Aquarian age is all about love, self-love, unconditional love. And it's about birth. It's about creation. And so this is what they're asking you to do, to dream a new world into being. If enough people visualized a utopian society, if we all visualized it and dreamt about it, and because whatever you think about, you bring about, this would be a whole new world. All right. The next card you got is Infinite Supply, Sedna. So this is knowing that you are supplied for today and all of your tomorrows. So again, being grateful, being thankful, noticing your blessings, knowing that there's an infinite supply, not thinking. So when you're in that lack mentality, when you think something's lacking or there's not enough of something, then that's what you perpetuate. That's what you continue to attract. But as long as you're in that feeling of, yep, I have everything I need, I'm so abundant, I'm so happy, there's nothing lacking in my life, you attract more of that. All right, the next card you got, 852 Hertz, returning to spiritual order. So another way to get out of the matrix is to heal yourself, heal your cells, heal your DNA. And the way to do that, if you go on YouTube, listen to Hertz music. So if you tune into 852, I usually listen to this type of music when I sleep, or maybe I'll do subliminals, but I also do it while I am working. And this particular one returns you to spiritual order, which is really cool. So that does sound like that would help you out of this matrix. Awesome. All right, the next card you got is, of course, the Fool. So they're asking you to take a chance. They're asking you to take this journey, like see how she doesn't have fear of the unknown. She has no fear of this unknown, or maybe it's a he, I don't know. But anyway, this person is like looking up at the bird, like not even looking down, like looking up at the bird and saying, here I come, I'm ready, I'm going to take this journey, I'm going to trust the divine, and I'm going to take the first step, and I have no fear, and I know that the universe will catch me. And so this is part of letting go of the matrix, is just taking a chance, taking, a risk on yourself, and knowing that, you will be guided by the divine as she's looking up and not looking down. I feel like this card's stuck to another card. Oh, okay, it is stuck to another card. Okay, we also got 9 of Cups. Wishes come true. So yeah, so they're just saying, again, keep your vibrations high, trust the divine, put your wishes out there, especially when it comes to, I know I pulled a card that had to do with birthing a new age, really visualize what you want, and just know your wishes are coming true. Know it. If your intuition's telling you that something's coming your way, trust that. Expect miracles. Expect miracles. Just like see how he's looking. He's like, yeah, it's coming. It's coming in divine timing. It may not come the minute I think it's coming, but it's coming. He looks very sure about it. All right, and then another way to get out of the matrix is through your crown chakra. So this is opening, clearing, activating your crown chakra. This can do, you could do this through meditation, through Hertz music. I wonder if that 852 Hertz music does heal the crown chakra. It might. Anyway, open up the crown chakra to allow spirit to, pull you into the, fifth dimension. When you use your crown chakra, when you cleanse it, focus it, activate it, it brings you into another realm. It takes you, because our bottom chakras are very earthbound, which is very needed, by the way, to keep us grounded, and then our top chakras are to connect us to spirit and to our divine guidance. And so yes, opening up our crown chakra will also take us out of this matrix. And then you also got blessings. So again, noticing your blessings. And this also, it kind of looks very divine, where there's angels all around. Like, just angels everywhere in this card. It's almost like when you're connected to the divine, your blessings are like that much more tenfold. When you're divinely guided, and when you already notice your blessings, and when you're noticing blessings in little things, it just perpetuates more and more blessings, because what you notice grows. And when you notice the blessings, when you notice the lack, all that does is perpetuate and attract more lack. But when you notice the blessings all around you, and you're grateful for it, and you feel the angels around you constantly sending you more and more blessings, that attracts more blessings into your life, and that will get you out of the matrix. All right, and then you also got welcome the new. Yeah, so drop the old, whatever, welcome in the new. So the divine, I'm sure, is trying to show you new ways of doing things, things that, because our limited minds have no idea on what the divine knows. The divine has all these beautiful new ways of doing things, new ways, like new answers to problems, new types of solutions that we never even thought of, things that regular human beings never even thought of and never even taught us. And so we have to welcome in the new and trust. And when our intuition is telling us to try something new, especially if it feels like your intuition, your gut is telling you to do it, then welcome it. And that is how to get out of the matrix. The next card you got is Twin Flames equals free from dependencies, contracts, like 3D contracts, compromise, settling, and security. Yep. So that's what the Twin Flame is all about. It's about freeing ourselves from any kind of dependencies. And what's odd about this is that because it's all about balancing out your own inner divine feminine and your own divine masculine energies inside of you. When it becomes imbalanced, you feel extremely dependent on one side because because you're deficient on one side of your own. So let's just say I relate to being a divine feminine in this particular lifetime. On my divine masculine, I've had quite the deficit because I was not really utilizing my traits as the divine masculine. And of course, one of those traits, as I said before, has to do with focusing on myself and not focusing on others. And I'm more of like a helper, like I'm a mom, in my job, I'm always helping people. And I really wasn't big on focusing on myself. And what that did was it put a deficit on my divine masculine side of me. And what that caused me to do was become obsessive in this twin flame journey. And because my divine masculine side of me was not whole. Yes, it was not whole. And so I had to have, so this is what they're telling me. So relationships, um, as as a rule, any relationship, it's just a longing for something that you don't have. So even it doesn't even have to be a lover, it could be a friend, it could be anybody. And when there's something missing, when there's something that you don't have and you long for, you try to get that from someone else, and that's really what it's all about. Or it could be even longing for God, longing for your connection to God is what you're longing for. It's what it actually is. You don't see it that way because your ego is protecting you. That's what it actually is. It's really a longing for God. It's really longing for that divine connection because you're missing that. And, or it's something where, like I said, let's say somebody has something that you want, like maybe somebody has I don't know, like really great cooking skills. I don't have great cooking skills. And I'm really attracted to that person because of their cooking skills. So, I'm attracted to this person now and we're married, blah, blah, blah. But all of a sudden I start getting my own cooking skills, and now I'm really good at cooking. And so now I may not need that person in my life anymore. So what they're saying is that relationships as a whole, when you long for a relationship or you're attracted to something in someone else that has to do with what's missing inside of yourself, it's that deficit. And until you feel it on your own, you're going to long for it and find it somewhere else. Hope that makes sense. But anyway, that is how to get out of the matrix. And then, of course, the big one is allow yourself to be spirit directed. That's the big one. When you allow your life to be spirit directed, it's a game changer. It just changes everything, and it really takes you out of the third dimension when you remain open and patient and you're just like in awe. And then, of course, raising your vibration to, it's very high, but to be in the fifth dimension, in order to get out of the matrix, joy, that's attainable, right? To be in joy, peace, that's acceptance, just being at peace. Enlightenment, that's a tough one. To be enlightened, that's like the highest one to be there. I think that's like Buddha vibration right there. And so a lot of us do spike to joy and peace. It's hard to stay there. But letting go, healing ourselves, letting go of the baggage, balancing out our own inner divine feminine and inner divine masculine energies really helps to do that. Feeling whole on our own, it really brings us peace. And that is how to get out of the matrix. Well, there's one more thing. I just like to have one thing to ponder on. You can ponder on it or not. But so basically, I grabbed out of a bag something to ponder on. It says, I'm reflecting on. So just something like, what are you reflecting on? Like what are you what this card means is, so we're always like mirroring ourselves. We're always mirroring something, from people, and it makes us reflect on things. We're like, I don't know, like things we didn't know about. We're just like, well, I didn't even think about that, or I didn't even notice that in myself, and why did that trigger me? That actually triggered me, but why did that trigger me? Like for instance, I could tell you a quick story where I was very surprised. I was at a meetup and they were talking about the Me Too movement, and there were a lot of people at that meetup that didn't believe in the Me Too movement, and it really triggered me. And I really had to figure out, what it was that, because, it makes me mad when I allow others to affect my vibration. And so I'll just pull the camera since. And so what happened was I had to really think about something inside of me that wasn't healed. And so I said, there's obviously something about the Me Too movement that I'm not healed in. And of course, I have, like everyone else, we all have our stories, we all have our traumas. And so I had to dig deep and say, there's something inside of me that's not healed. It's something to do with my inner child. And so once I had started doing that work, and I started like healing my inner child, and I started figuring out like why things were triggering me and what needed to be what needed to be brought to the surface and what needed to be released and healed, and transmuted. That's another way to get out of the matrix, by the way, is to be an alchemist and to transmute negative energies into positive energies. So once I started transmuting that, now people's words don't affect me as much. I'm all about action anyway. When people's words, usually I feel pretty neutral. Like usually I don't put any meaning on people's words. I'm usually more about the action anyway. But anyway, just a quick example. And so you can like, what are you reflecting on? Anyway, I hope that was beneficial. It was beneficial to me because, I'm always looking to see what, how to get out of this third dimension into the fifth dimension, how to get out of this matrix, because I know that this is just an illusion, and there are strategies and ways to like live your life full time on a full time basis to get out of this matrix. And so I do hope this was helpful, and I send you all love and blessings, love and blessings, love and blessings. And if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. I am trying to do a daily video, or at least every other day, to help people. I'd love to hear your comments, and thank you so much for supporting my channel and clicking on this video. Thanks. Bye.